Hello everyone, this is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. How's everybody doing this morning? Hope you're doing well. It is October 27th, 2025, and we're going to do a video this morning on why people are having a hard time financially to live in this country, why it's becoming too expensive to live in this country. Okay, and this is coming from a person that's debt-free, okay? Debt-free, no car payments, no loan payments, no credit card payments, none of that shit. I got my cell phone bill, my automobile insurance, my electric bill, and I pay my rent. And the reason I'll never own again is because you don't own anything. You buy property, the government still owns it. You got to pay them property tax. That's a tight. But anyway, I'm not going into debt. And it's easy to live in today's world. But what? A lot of people have all this debt, right? Because let's say you want a new car. You want it. See, it's a want. If you got to borrow money for anything you want, don't borrow money, okay? But you got somebody willing to borrow you this money for this car. Puts you in debt now, I guess up to 8 years for thousands of dollars, up to $1,000 a month. Crazy time, okay? You know, you want to take money, power away from the elite and the bankers? Stop going to the bank and borrowing money from them. You know, like with the automobile. If you can afford $1,000 or $1,200 monthly payment, plus the insurance that comes with it, I tell you what, save up 4 months, go buy you a car that'll last you 3 years, that's paid for, no car payment, all you need is liability insurance, it's cheap, and then save up that money to buy your status symbol. You know, everybody's realizing that the rich guy is just, or you should be realizing that the rich guy wants to get you in debt, become a financial slave. Then he owns you forever. Okay? I tell you what, I'm not liked very much in this country by these elites. You know why? I'm healthy, don't have to go to the doctor, and don't have to take no medications. I got the VA anyway, never go there, but I haven't been to the doctor in probably 20-some years. Healthy as can be. So I don't give them no money. You know, crazy time, okay? And then I don't have no debt. I'm not paying these banks any more money. You know, I got a bank account, yeah, because it's almost necessary in today's world. To be a strictly cash man, you can't even cash a check anymore, so you need a bank account. But that's all I got, okay? A simple bank account. So I can sit there and do my little bit of, it's always nice to have a debit card, but I don't have no debt. That's what you need to get in, people. You need to realize that you're going to have to sit there and tone down your lifestyle a little bit. You need to get your debt paid off, okay? Like I say, if you're in it over your ears with your car, sell your freaking vehicle. People that pay $60,000, $50,000 for a car, that's retarded in the first place, but guess what? We got to make sure that those people on the assembly lines make, you know, 30, 40 bucks an hour. Okay? You got to learn to live with what you can afford. You got to learn to be happy with less, because that's what's happening in this country. You're going to have to learn to live with less to get by. You ain't going to be able to spend money like you want, okay? But the thing is, when you get out of debt, you know how much freedom that gives you? You know how much freedom it is when the big elites who want to make money off me, I can say, screw you. Screw you, you know. Look at where I live. Do you think that you can sit there and shove some money in my face and think you're going to impress me with something? I mean, look at this. See that? Those two are worth more than all the gold in the world. They'll sit there and definitely have more purpose for me than all the gold in the world. And they're paid for. Well, I guess that's another bill I got every month during the winter time. I got to feed them. You know, I feed my animals just like I feed myself. Don't expect my neighbors to do it. Okay, since they're domesticated, I promise to take care of them. You know, we domesticate our people, and now our government can't take care of them. Anyway, that was my video from last night. But all you people that are finding it hard to live, how easy would it be for you to live if all you had your rent, your utilities, your cell phone bill, and your car insurance with just liability instead of full coverage? How much easier would that be? See, I learned back in the 90s when I did go into debt. And I lived that life of struggling. And I got lucky one night. I won a lot of money. And I paid off all that debt. Everybody at work was like, oh, why don't you go out and buy this or buy that? I said, this purpose of this money is to get out of debt. You know, not win $30,000 or $40,000 and go another fucking $100,000 in debt. That's insanity. But the control you have over your life, the peace, you know, your availability of extra money you have. This is why I wish they'd go to a federal sales tax. Because if I'm only spending $1,200, $1,300 a month, boy, taxes of $130 a month would look awful appealing to me. That's why they'll never go to a national sales tax, because it's based on what you spend. And the people that want to sit there and not pay taxes like that because they spend a lot, want to sit there and make sure we pay all the taxes and subsidize it. Anyway. But yeah, you need to get out of debt, people. You need to take the power away from the banks. How would the banks sit there and react if for like a whole 3 months, not one person in the United States borrowed money from a bank, a financial institution, never charged on their credit cards, just paid their loans off and debts off? What do you think things would be like in this country? Okay, and the thing is, we're the ones that are supporting their lifestyle, their high-class, floozy lifestyle. I mean, we're staying poor so they can become rich. Remember, too big to fail now? So that means all these kids being born will always have a silver spoon in their mouth, and us little guys are always going to be paying for it. But like I say, keep borrowing money, keep going into debt and stuff, and you're never going to get out. You're always going to be that financial slave. I told the big guy a long time to go fuck himself. Okay, and the thing is, the dollar bill is worthless. That's another reason your dollar bills are worthless. Because it's our government's way of solving the problem is throwing more money on the pile of money that's worthless and giving it to a few citizens. You know, Americans can be bought so easy. And then they forget about their problems for a while. Like all that money during COVID, how much did that end up costing the taxpayer? About 3 times is what they got. Anyway, get out of debt, people. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. Let the Joneses go in debt up to their eyeballs. You know, I had a comment on my deal once about living the simple life, that short I made about people saying, oh, the country's nice, but your place is run down. You know what? I don't own the place, but it's a nice place. Yeah, the house could be painted and stuff, but, you know, that's a landlord's thing, but it's sound. My house I live in will still be standing 100 years from now because it's over 100 years old now, and it's made of rough-cut lumber, which a lot of you guys don't know, but it's actual 2x4 and a 2x6 and a 2x8. You got to sit there and take your money, if you have any extra money, and spend it on stuff that's going to hold its value, become more valuable, or be able to at least feed you, okay? And like I say, you got to tone down. Times are getting tough, everybody. The rich guy wants his money, and he's going to make sure that you become his indentured servant to get his money. Like I say, we're all everybody's a financial slave who wants to be in debt. Okay? Get skills. Skills so you can live a lower key lifestyle, not so expensive, okay? But until you can sit there and live with less, you're going to be more stressed out and eventually live with less. Remember what they said? You'll own nothing and like it? Yeah, but we're still going to pay for everything that we have in our possession, even though we don't own it. It's not like we're going to own nothing and like it and still not have to make payments on things. All right? Anybody think it's time to take our country back? $38+ trillion in debt, and our government just keeps taking from us. They don't hear our cries that we're broke. Just taxes, taxes, and taxes. Keep American people down on their knees. Except somebody like me. Banks, pharmaceutical companies, all you rich elites like Alex Soros, that beta male piece of shit. He thinks he's going to sit there and one day come and tell me what to do? Fucking beta males. Anyway, get out of debt, people. You'll understand what real freedom is. Live a simple, easy lifestyle. You know, all these people complain about food. How many of you got gardens? None of ya. Raise your own livestock, none of ya. That's one thing about here in the great wide open and flyover country. We got plenty of good food. That's why a lot of us are also healthy. Anyway, I don't want to turn this into a rant, but anyway, get out of debt, people. Give your finger to the rich elite and say, no, I can wait on that. Like when I was growing up, we saved up and got what we wanted, okay? But now it's you got somebody there, hey, I'll lend you some money for what you want today. It's going to be a great thing. I'll tell you how great everything's going to be. Now people are struggling up the ass. You know, this is another thing with the younger generation that are upset with baby boomers and Gen X's. You know, we all knew that when you were 18 and 20, you didn't start out of college, what, $100,000 in debt. You didn't start your life out in debt thinking you were going to sit there and accomplish something. Okay? We all were smarter back then. We all knew that we had to work for years to accomplish what our parents and grandparents had. But nowadays, you guys all want it right away, and you got somebody there willing to lend you the money to get you there. You just can't afford to pay him back. Like I say, when you can't afford your lifestyle, it's time to tone down a bit. And that'll get rid of a lot of your problems. Anyway, that's my little rant on the deal. Hope everybody enjoyed it. This is Tom with the Hidden Truths. I'm out of here.